See, in our country, knowledge is itself privilege. Okay, knowledge of anything. And knowledge of rights and law is also a privilege section. Now, even the privilege of an activist. So I had certain knowledge of what your rights are, though I didn't know the intricacies of a jail manual in terms of, but I still demanded to know that what are my visitation rights, what are my rights for legal aid, how many times can a lawyer visit, how many times can my family visit, how many. That's when I came to know that many people who don't have immediate family in Ahmedabad and who can't afford to travel don't get visitors at all, which is extremely alienating. So similarly, even before I come to Sokalo Gond, who's the Adhyaksha of our union, let me come to say that there was an overwhelming number of Chara women in our jails. Now, Chara is a denotified tribe, used to be criminalized tribes under the British. So you see that they are extremely marginalized. Fair amount of Muslims, lots of Dalits, and many from the economically poor sections. You know? And then, of course, we see the experience of our own union leadership. You had Kismatia, you had Rajkumari, you had Sukalo Gonji, all of them going to jail once in 2015 where they were together. So the only good thing is there were 4 or 5 of them together, including Roma, for about a month. And then in 2018, it was Sukaloji alone and Kismatia somewhere else. So, and she was in Mirzapur jail. She found that not only was the overcrowding, but the quality of food was so bad that she refused to touch it. She survived just on milk and fruit for a month. And which is crazy, because that means your nutrition suffers. Now, what is jail food like across the board? The jail manual tells us, the earlier committee tells us that there should be food 3 times a day. It should be nutritious food. It should be cooked hygienically. But we know for a fact that, at least I know, at least in Sabarmati jail, it was only twice a day, 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Which means you're basically eating cold food, because you keep it and you eat it at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, and then you eat the 5 o'clock food around 7:30. Breakfast is any kind of sukha nasta which you either get your family to deliver or which you buy from the canteen. None of this is regular or equitable. There's supposed to be some special milk and dahi, stroke fruit for prenatal care, so for the pregnant woman or for women like me who are over 60. But all of that is patchy. You have to demand it. You don't always get it. There's supposed to be a hospital-like dispensary within a jail. But we saw, at least while we were there, that the clinic that is available, there is a health clinic, there are some cursory medicines, but it's not extremely effective or functioning. So, and people don't have much faith in it. The water and sanitation is very poor. I mean, all of us felt that in my barrack, that whenever the RO, the reverse osmosis system, would go off, which was available for the jail, and it went off 3 times in 63 days, our stomachs went for a complete toss. I mean, there was obviously something dreadfully wrong with the water. So all of this is like very basic stuff. Then there's a whole issue of privacy. There's a whole issue of reading, writing, being able to find a silent place in which you can do both of these things. If there's a nice library available, which there was in Sabarmati, why is it not kept open for longer hours? All of this was a struggle. Because basically, I think it's the same with the police, but the bureaucracy, jail bureaucracy, has not been questioned or monitored from the outside to treat inmates or even convicted prisoners as if they are human beings. Yeah, they might have been charged with something or incarcerated, but that doesn't mean you just treat them out of the pale of citizenship. And yet that concept doesn't really, has not seeped into the system. So you have certain duties struck out for you, what is your duties under the jail manual. But what are your various rights under the jail manual? These are neither read to you nor available to you. So this is a serious issue. Legal aid, I found that, not that most people did have a lawyer, but what kind of lawyer? Are they kind of being informed about the fact about how their case is being fought, who is fighting it, at what stage is it? All of this is extremely non-transparent. So it's really quite a tragedy, given that under the directive principles of state policy, the right to equitable legal aid is something that the state should aspire to, regardless of which state of the country we are talking.